The Nexus Arena had witnessed 1,000 deaths and 10,000 screams of triumph, but nothing like this. Commander Thexkar watched from the observation deck as the human prisoner shuffled into the blood-soaked sand below. His wrists bound with neural dampeners that would prevent any cybernetic enhancements from functioning. Not that it mattered. Humans were notoriously weak, their biology laughably fragile compared to the galaxy's apex predators. "Release the Vorthak," Thexkar commanded, his forearms gesturing dismissively. The crowd of assembled species roared their approval. Zilithians clicking their mandibles in excitement, Corvan warriors beating their chest plates in anticipation, and the serpentine Nyx coiling tighter in their viewing pods. The human, designation Marcus Chen according to the prison records, stood barely 6 feet tall, his brown hair matted with sweat and grime from weeks in the detention center. He wore only the standard prisoner's cloth, no armor, no weapons. The neural dampeners around his wrists glowed a soft blue, ensuring he couldn't access whatever primitive technology his species might have integrated into their bodies. The arena floor trembled as the Vorthak emerged from its holding cell. 12 feet of pure killing machine, its crystalline carapace caught the harsh lights and scattered rainbow death across the sand. 6 blade-tipped limbs clicked against the ground as it oriented toward the human, compound eyes analyzing threat levels and weak points with predatory precision. This creature had ended 43 gladiatorial matches without sustaining significant injury. Marcus stood perfectly still as the beast approached, his head tilted slightly as if listening to something the crowd couldn't hear. The Vorthak circled him slowly, savoring the moment before the kill. The audience leaned forward in bloodthirsty anticipation. Then Marcus moved, not toward the creature or away from it, but laterally, his bare feet sliding through the sand with minimal disturbance. The Vorthak lunged, its razor-sharp forelimbs slicing through empty air where the human had been a split second before. Marcus was already behind it, his hand brushing against the creature's rear leg. Not striking, just touching. The Vorthak spun with impossible speed, but Marcus wasn't there anymore. He seemed to flow like water around the arena, never quite where the creature expected him to be. Each near miss brought gasps from the crowd, but something was wrong. The human wasn't just avoiding the attacks, he was studying them. Thexkar's secondary eyes narrowed. In 300 cycles of arena management, he'd never seen prey behavior like this. Most gladiators either charged recklessly or cowered in terror. This human did neither. He simply observed. The Vorthak's attacks grew more frenzied, its crystalline hide beginning to show stress fractures from the violent movements. Still, Marcus danced around it, occasionally reaching out to touch different parts of its carapace. Always briefly, always precisely, always in spots that seemed to have no tactical significance. The crowd's roar began to fade into confused murmurs. On the 17th attack, something shifted. The Vorthak's left forelimb trembled slightly as it struck. On the 23rd, its rear legs showed the faintest instability. By the 30th attack, the creature was visibly struggling to maintain its coordination. Marcus finally spoke, his voice carrying clearly across the suddenly quieting arena. Crystalline neural matrix distributed through the carapace. Fascinating adaptation, but it has a critical vulnerability. He stepped forward as the Vorthak stumbled, its killing limbs now shaking uncontrollably. Harmonic resonance. Every crystal has a frequency that will shatter it. Your species evolved this armor to be nearly impenetrable, but you sacrifice stability for strength. The human placed his palm against the creature's central carapace segment. I've been mapping your resonance pattern with each touch. Every crystal formation in your body is now vibrating at its natural frequency. The Vorthak collapsed, not from injury but from complete neural system failure. Its own armor had become a prison, each crystalline segment disrupting the bioelectric signals that controlled its movement. It wasn't dead, just utterly helpless. The arena fell into absolute silence. Marcus turned to face the observation deck, his eyes finding Commander Thexkar despite the distance. Your mistake wasn't underestimating human physical capabilities, he said, his voice somehow carrying to every corner of the arena. It was underestimating human intellectual ones. He gestured to the fallen Vorthak. We don't survive because we're the strongest or fastest. We survive because we learn, we adapt. We see patterns where others see chaos, and we find solutions where others see impossibility. The neural dampeners on his wrists suddenly sparked and fell away, smoking on the sand. These dampeners work on cybernetic implants and genetic modifications. They don't do anything to stop a PhD in xenobiology and 20 years of studying crystalline life forms. Marcus began walking toward the arena exit, stepping over the paralyzed Vorthak. I suggest you reconsider humanity's application to the Galactic Council. We're not the galaxy's weakest species. We're its most dangerous. We just prefer to solve problems with our minds rather than our claws. Behind him, the Vorthak began to recover as the harmonic resonance faded, but Marcus was already gone, disappeared into the tunnels beneath the arena floor. The crowd remained frozen in stunned silence, trying to process what they'd witnessed. Commander Thexkar's hands shook as he reached for his communications array. The human containment protocol would need immediate revision. Perhaps it was time to reconsider their species' request for diplomatic immunity. In the arena below, only the wind moved through the sand, carrying with it the whisper of a truth that would soon spread across the galaxy. Never cage a creature that thinks its way out of extinction on a daily basis. The arena had roared when the human stepped in. It left silent when he walked out.